Welcome to Fire with Dr. Ninja Turtle. This is the end of May budget update. So the question is, did I stay within my $900 a month spending goal for the month of May? Let's get into it. I spent $330 on lawn care this month. Lawn care was in my spending budget, but now lawn care is not in my spending budget because I am using my rental income to pay for lawn care. So that is not in my personal spending anymore. Let's keep going and see what we can see. I spent $15.04 on gas on my motorcycle riding with my friends this month. I spent $130.91 on restaurants this month. I also spent $100.85 in gas for my car. I spent $72.95 on internet this month, which is my normal bill. And then, because I had doctor's appointments, dental appointments, and I had to buy my Freestyle Libre A1C monitors, that was $226.37, which is not a normal amount of medical expenses. It's once every 3 months. I took out $80 in cash because I was running low on cash, but that is not money that I spent this month. That's just money to go in my wallet. Let's look at the grand total this month. At Walmart, I spent $232.67. You guys know Walmart is my go-to. Total, I spent $858.79, which is a lot less than what I spent in April of $5,543.76. Remember, I was traveling in April for 3 weeks out of the month, and so that was a very expensive month for my spending. For car insurance, which is going to be $1,800 in early June, I put enough money on my credit card to cover the car insurance during the month of May. So what I spent on the credit card was $1,556.41. I'm going to be trying to get that lower in future months so that the more money I put on the credit card, I'm going to pay off the credit card using the Dave Ramsey Snowball method because that is my lowest amount of debt. So at the beginning of May, the credit card balance was $8,812.50. At the end of May, it is $6,710.84. Again, I will be focusing on credit card debt paydown and paying the minimum on my other debts until I pay off that credit card. This is the money that I borrowed to pay the IRS. I borrowed $25,000, and the payments, the minimum payments on this particular line of credit is $1,500. So I made the very first payment of $1,500, and this will increase. I will pay more than $1,500 in the future once I pay off the credit card, because this is my second highest priority payment. And so this leaves me with a balance of $1,100 that's available on the card. But it has a 15.75% interest rate, and the balance is now down to $23,885.77. This is my other line of credit, which has the highest balance of all. However, the payments are a lot less at $517.99. So this is the one that is my third priority. My other line of credit that I borrowed to pay for the IRS, I will be closing that line of credit as soon as I pay it off from the money that I borrowed for the IRS. With this particular line of credit, it is $25,814 at the beginning of May. At the end of May, it is $25,598. So I made the minimum payment on this one which I will keep doing until I pay off the IRS and unless I have extra money coming in from teaching. In that case, I may put extra money on this line of credit because this is my emergency fund. And so right now, I have about $7,000 available in case of an emergency. But what I'm doing is I'm building up a cash emergency fund so that I do not have to debt and go into these lines of credit in the future. So I am building up emergency funds while I'm paying down lines of credit. In the end, when you total all these up, I have a May beginning total of $59,626.83 that I owed in all of this borrowing and debting that I've been doing. It is now down to $56,195.38. So I brought it down $3,431.45 this month. However, I have the car insurance bill that I will have to pay at the beginning of June. However, I hope with increased classes starting that I can cash flow that $1,800 and my credit card will not rise. It will actually go down in the month of June. My retirement account did really well in the month of May. At the end of June, the balance was $149,202.30. Now, this is all four of my retirement accounts, and this includes 3 colleges and 4 accounts. One of the colleges said that because I don't live in the state of Florida anymore, I can't work there anymore. So I am now down to 2 colleges, and so I can only contribute to 2 of the 3 college retirement accounts going forward in the future. The current balance is $157,022.27. So it went up quite a bit in the month of May, which I'm very happy about. I always want to report on my savings rate because my savings rate tells you how much money I'm putting into savings or my cash emergency fund as opposed to what I'm doing to pay down debt. I'm bringing more money home from schools and putting less money into my retirement account at the colleges, which lowers my savings rate overall. So as you can see, at the beginning of the year, I started at 70% savings rate, but I knew that I was going to have these credit bills coming. So I started lowering what I was putting in the colleges in their retirement accounts. In May, I am at a 23.55% savings rate, which is still high, but it's not as high as I hope it to be. So in 2027, I will again try to have a 70% savings rate. Every year, I'd start that off, and next year, I will not debt and run up these charges because what I'm doing is I'm also not only paying down last year's IRS debt, I am putting money to the side and paying the IRS in advance of my 2026 IRS bill. To conclude, let's look at the difference between April's income and spending and May's income and spending. Because what I'm doing with my finances is I'm trying to turn a big ship around and I'm creating myself a spending plan which puts money aside for future expenses like car insurance. I'm going to start putting that money away each month so that when the car insurance comes up every 6 months, I already have that money there to pay for it. Also, I have other expenses that are annual expenses, and I'm going to start putting money away each month for these annual expenses. So when they come up, it's not a big shock. One of them are the property taxes for my rental properties. I've never put that money away, and then in December, I have to come up with $5,000 or $10,000. Well, no more. I am going to be putting that money aside in my new spending plan so that when December comes around, I have the property tax money to pay those property tax bills. But let's look at the percentage of my income that I spent on me during the month of April and during the month of May. So you can see that 54% of my income I spent traveling during the month of April. I only spent 11% of my income on myself during the month of May. That is what I plan to do for the rest of the year. It won't always go that smooth. Sometimes it's going to be higher, sometimes lower. I'm just going to do the best that I can do, working my new spending plan of putting money to the side, not only for taxes, but also for future expenses. This is a whole new thing for me, and I hope that you join me on this ride of changing my financial relationship with money. Remember, never let your past determine your future.